Hello everybody, I'm Bobby, and on today's video I'm going to be showing you how to replace a crawl space vent. As you can see, these old vents are rotted, and all you got to do is come out here and measure the vent from top to bottom. Just measure the perimeter of the vent and go to your local building supply place and have them make them out of PVC. That's what they look like. Got like a screen on the back, and it's all PVC so it'll never rot again. And I like to put at least a coat of paint on mine before I go ahead and install them and everything. Get at least one coat on it so they can be drying. Then you're just going to come out here and tear these out and put them in. I want to show you how we do that. What you're going to need for this job would be like a hammer and a flat bar so you can get your old vent out. And you're going to need a caulking gun. The first thing he's going to do is just go ahead and make a cut right through the middle of the vent so you can tear it out. Go ahead and take your flat bar, start tearing it. Just tear it out of the hole. These new vents, sometimes you'll find them in stock at your local building supply place. Most of the time I have to order them. It usually takes about 3 weeks, a week or 2 to get them, depending on how backed up the shop is or the millwork shop is that's making them. You're just going to pull that louvers out to make it a little easier to be able to get your hand on it and pull it out of the hole. It looks like that one's caulked to the brick at the top. They're going to be wedged in there. Some of them are going to be caulked in the holes. Some of them's going to be harder to come out. These really ain't all that bad. And the replacement ones that we ordered are going to be exactly to the measurements. They're going to be tight, so it's going to be not going to be any need for fastening them to the bricks or anything like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a vinyl adhesive caulking across the top of it. I'm going to wait for that to set up once I put it in, and I'm going to give it a little while and come back and just paint that caulk line. And it looks like these vents right here are non-functional vents. In other words, it's just for decoration on the front of the house. This is actually a garage part of the house. And they don't just like clean up any old caulk or anything that you see inside of the frame of the opening where the old vent was. And look for any little pieces of mortar or anything that might be sticking out or anything that's going to hold you up when you go trying to put the new one in, because you don't want to beat it apart trying to get the new one in there. And make sure you don't put it in upside down. Put your sill part at the bottom. You're just going to try to line it up even with the hole. Already at this point, we can tell that this vent is not going to exactly fit. It's too tight, so you're going to have to pull it back out and trim a little bit off of one side and a little bit off of the top of and a little bit off of one of the sides to make it fit. So sometimes they don't exactly fit, they're too tight and you don't want to break it trying to put it in. And this one went in no problem. It's nice and tight. You just have to take a beater block and a hammer and tap it in there because it's going to be nice and tight. This one, just another, take a little bit off or shave it a little bit off of the side and the top. Sometimes you may end up having to do that, but most of the time you're not going to have to do any of that. So I'll pull this back out and trim it down and go from there. So now that you've trimmed a little bit off, just gonna tap it a little bit on each side all the way around. Don't take your hammer and hit it right on the face because you don't want to put no dents in it. Mark it up.
Hit it on the corners.
Yeah, hit it on the corners where it's the most sturdy. Yeah. Just keep going all the way around it until you get it back flush. As tight as it's going to fit, you don't need to use no fasteners or nothing to hold it in there. It's not going to fall back out. It's not going to shrink like wood would because it's PVC. Plus you're going to use a little bit of vinyl adhesive caulking to go around it. These don't really cost a lot, at least in my state. These vents right here ran around $75 a piece. Once you get it back in, I'm going to put a little bit of Phenol seal around it. That's what I like, some vinyl adhesive caulking. You might want to use clear if it's against brick like this. And you're just going to go ahead and put another coat of paint on it to touch it up. Any little scratches or scuffs from putting it in. That's about it. That's it. You know, we've done that one and this one, and there's one more that's left over there. That's what it looks like. Hopefully this one will fit. And I'm going to go ahead and take some of this Phenol seal, vinyl adhesive caulking, and go around it. So I think I'm going to use clear. I think I'm going to go down and put a coat of paint on it first and then put some clear around that because it's on brick. It'll look a lot neater that way. So if I use a white, I'll have to paint the caulk line, and that may end up looking a little sloppy on brick. If it were on like a, if it were on something that was wood, which you're never going to see, it's always going to be brick. You could use white, but I would use clear here. And again, that's what the vent is going to look like. You can get these custom made at your custom building supply place that's local to you. You may have to just do a little bit of work on the phone to find out who does it. And you come out with a tape measure. And you measure the old one. You go down and give them the exact measurements, and they make them for you, and then you put them in just like I just showed you. Simple as that. Even a homeowner can do it. Doesn't have to be somebody with any kind of special skills or training to be able to do that. What I do is I'm just going to go ahead on back to the ones that I've put in. I'm going to put my second coat of paint on. Once this paint is dried, a little bit later on, I'm going to come back and put a little fine bead of some clear vinyl adhesive caulking around the edges. I'm just going to go ahead and paint it now. Make sure you get everything all around. Put your second coat on there of paint. Alright, so now all the paint is dry. And we'll go back around now and just go in this crack right here with a little bit of sealant. Just seal that crack up around there. With some clear sealant. And go around all the way around it. And this is the last step. After this, it's all done. And we did 3 of them in about 40 minutes. So don't take that long. And we had to trim down 2 of them. So around all 3 of the vents with a clear sealer, and that's what it looks like. That's your finished product. That's 1, 2, 3 vents. Took about 15 minutes each one. So 1, 2, 3. It's really easy, relatively inexpensive, and the PVC is the way to go because you do it one time, you don't have to worry about doing it again because it's not going to rot. So you just tear the old one out and fit the new one, that one right there and that one right there. I had to take a little bit off, and the best way for me to do that would be using a belt sander instead of trying to saw it. Just sand a little bit off the corners and the edges where it's hanging up, and take a beater block and tap it into its spot that sits really tight, and then put that clear sealer around it, and it's done. 3 of them, just like that. So if you like that video, subscribe to GetGo TV and shoot me an email. If you got any questions, leave a comment. And thanks for watching the video, and look at some of our other home improvement videos and rust restoration videos and stuff that I have on YouTube. And y'all have a good day. Thank you.